Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Nedling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Nedling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring guests and topics that will help you grow your business. And today, I'm so excited to have my guest, Vladimer Botsvadze. Oh, I had it down the first time. Let's say it again. Vladimer Botsvadze. And let me tell you about Vladimer. He is ranked number one global marketing, social media, and retail thought leader by Thinkers 360 in 2023. With over 130,000 followers across social media platforms, Vladimer is a world-renowned digital transformation and social media influencer and positions brands as market leaders in their industries. He has more than 15 years of international experience with a proven track record and has enjoyed an outstanding career at the top of the technical industry. Vladimer has been described as a pioneer across the globe, and that was by Excellent magazine. Today, we're going to talk about stand out from the crowd, how to build a powerful personal brand. Please welcome Vladimer Botsvadze.
Hi, Vicky. I truly appreciate the invitation to your podcast, and I'm excited to share my high-impact, actionable, and practical marketing strategies with your audience to help them maximize their success today,
Awesome. That's so good. Vladimer, I always start out with a simple question. Where are you calling in from? Where do you call home?
I'm now in Tbilisi, Georgia, in Europe. So you are in the state of Georgia. I'm the country of Georgia. So
that's pretty cool. Yes.
Yeah.
We're Georgia across the way. I remember at one point several years ago, we had adopted Georgia in Europe.
Yeah. I mean, we have so many visitors and travelers from state of Georgia in our country, Georgia. So it's a remarkable country, and of course, a remarkable country, the oldest wine producing country, a very sought after destination for global travelers and nomads, and everyone should explore this beautiful country,
Anything that has a wine country, I'm there.
Yeah.
Okay, so why does your online reputation matter more than ever now for those entrepreneurs?
Yeah, Vicky, there are 8 billion people in the world, 5.4 billion mobile users, 5.2 billion internet users, and 4.8 billion social media users. We live in a mobile-only world, so there are billions of social media users. And it's easy, to connect the dots between internet and communication. And of course, it is of paramount importance to have a strong personal brand nowadays, whether you run a Fortune 500 brand or you run your small business or you work at a top company. It is just of essence, just to have a strong personal brand, how to stand out from the crowd, to connect with the world in meaningful way, to tell your story, because marketing is all about telling your stories, so we need to tell stories in the right channels where billions of people spend their time online, but what I see nowadays is that brands have a tendency to run in circles and to waste their money on billboards, on TV, on radios, and offline marketing channels. And unfortunately, everything has changed. Consumer behavior has changed. Everything has changed, since the internet, emerged, and there are a myriad of social media channels. It's very hard to stand out nowadays because we need to be long-term thinkers. We need to show patience. We need to create content actually that is in our followers' best interest, so we need to be givers than takers. We need to care about our audience, because if we care about our audience, nothing is impossible, even in impossible, it says I'm possible,
Yes,
so
that's exactly right.
so I whatever I achieved in the last 9 years, it's because of curiosity, because of my sleepless nights, because of going the extra mile, because of being hungry, determined, and because I rarely rest on my laurels. I always look to my laurels. I hit the ground running, and I always try to surround myself with smarter, better people. So I ended up growing my social media tribe on Twitter, like 55,000 followers, like on Instagram, 28,000, like Instagram, almost 10,000, and of course, it has been very laborious and taxing journey, but I always bear in mind that there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and if you are truly determined, if you truly never give up, and you reinvest every penny in your growth. I mean, you need to reinvest every penny in your growth, because I don't keep up with Jonases, and I don't. I have never walked down the primrose path, because I have reinvested every penny, because I reinvested every penny in my growth, in my website, in my trainings, in my education, self-education. So Jim Rohn said that formal education will make you a living, and self-education will make a fortune. And even in this day, even in this digital age, where you need nobody's green light to stand out, it's all about storytelling. It's all about curiosity. It's all about your interest to connect with the world, and to strike while the iron is hot. And I'm very grateful from the bottom of my heart to the United States, that where I stand in 2023, because I moved to the US when I was 18 in 2006 in New York City, in Washington City, and it has been a long journey. But I set the ball rolling in the United States when I was 18. I was curious, I was determined, I was driven when I moved, and of course, 70 years later, I have been going from strength to strength, and US experience has been the backbone of my growth.
Yeah. So that, as you were talking, I was wondering about what your story was. How did Vladimir go from where you are today, or come from beginnings? What led you to adventure to this? Were you always an entrepreneur, or what did you do before that now added to your journey to where you are today?
Vicky, it's a great question. Thank you. I was born in Georgia, and in 90s, when I was growing up in my country, it was my dream to experience the Western world, and I was very diligent. And my dream came true when I moved to US at the age of 18, 2006. I was involved in summer exchange program, and I worked in Washington DC area for 2 months, and then I moved to New York City, where I lived almost a month and a half. And this experience has laid a strong foundation for my success, that I have made lifelong friends, long-standing business partnership with so many associations, and I knew that I was going to give 100% day in and day out, months in and months out, year in and year out, to make my dreams come true, to build my personal brand, to connect with the world, and to show the world what I'm made of, that I'm my own master. So I not only talk the talk, I always walk the walk, and I live and breathe results. I'm very momentum oriented, and I always try to improve my results. I compare myself to who I was yesterday, and when you are very momentum oriented, when you think in the long term, and when you know that if you hit the ground running, and if you go into a drive, nothing is impossible, and the results will come.
So talk to me, you mentioned some large numbers of followers that you have. So let's just talk Twitter for a little bit. How do you amass that many people with Twitter. What's a week look like as you're building a Twitter following?
I mean, just imagine that I was working 16 hours a day from 2014 to 2022 just to build my Twitter. I mean, I quit a rat race. I told them that my time belongs to my goals and dreams, and I'm only going to build my dream. So I quit the rat race. I quit their job because I never needed their 9-to-5 role. Never. Because I can depend on my effort. I can depend on my self-education. I can depend on my endeavor.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to build their dreams to sit in an office to build their dreams. And instead I started sitting in my in this room. I started building my personal brand. I started building my dream. That now I have 55,000 followers on Twitter, and my results speak for themselves. And in this digital age, nobody cares about formal degrees, and only benchmark is how many followers you have on Twitter, how many authentic followers. And I'm proud of every authentic follower I have on Twitter, because I started small, I started building gradually, and I was always I was thinking big. That's why I connected. I put out content, and I have capitalized on every social media channel that is available nowadays. It costs nothing to download Twitter. It costs nothing to create content. It costs nothing to record your video and upload to YouTube and to show the world what you are made of. And I now work with 25 speakers bureaus throughout the world, and my 1 hour keynote speeches is estimated in the ballpark of $30,000 and $50,000. Because strong personal brand. Branding is everything. Wiki branding.
You show up with it every day.
Yes. Why Nike is Nike, right? Why Nike is Nike? Because Nike is in storytelling mode. Nike collaborates with top athletes to tell the best stories, right? It's same for us when we tell our stories through Twitter. And when we communicate, everything is possible, So I have built a robust personal brand just because of Twitter, and it cost me $0 to build my personal brand and to make my dreams come true.
So do you have a system in place? Because as you say, you're telling the stories out there. So you have to understand who your audience is that you're trying to resonate with those stories. So what would you typically do to think about these 5 days of Twitter tweets that you're going to put out there? What is your process, if you will?
Vicky, I mean, you have to push yourself to the limit, and publish 100 pieces of content on Twitter every single day, because Twitter is #1 channel for news nowadays,
Right.
85% of global leaders use Twitter. You can connect with anyone. Through networking, you can become a billionaire. Through networking, you can become a keynote speaker. Through networking, you can become an entrepreneur,
Right.
Then I noticed that a billionaire and multi-billionaire entrepreneurs started following me from the United States, and I learned everything from them. I learned a great deal from my colleagues who follow me on Twitter.
That's good.
So even if you go to top business schools, they never teach you to build a strong personal brand, because they are teaching marketing strategies that existed 6 years ago at business school.
So true.
Yes. I mean, if you go to business school nowadays, they will teach you 95 marketing strategy, offline marketing strategy, So I have forgotten to do my MBA in the United States, because it's just a paper. Nobody cares about your degree nowadays,
Right.
Even in the United States, nobody asks me if I have an MBA in the United States, because nobody cares. But they ask me how many followers I have on Twitter. When I reply that I have 55,000 followers, it is my passport to the world.
Yeah, you get their attention, sir.
So marketing is all about winning attention, right?
That's exactly right. Getting it and holding it.
Yes, and degree does not guarantee that you will win attention. you need to win attention through creating content, through connecting with the world, right? Because it used to cost a fortune to reach global audiences 30 years ago. You had to pay millions of dollars to global media to reach global audience 30 years ago. Nowadays, it costs nothing to reach and to connect with the world. And what is the people's excuse? That they don't want to be on social media and to put out content to connect with the world. You know what happened to Kodak? What happened to Blockbuster? Because Blockbuster, the board members they neglected internet. They disregarded social media. They disregarded.
And then Netflix came.
Yes, and they did not buy Netflix for $50 million, and they went out of business. So even on what is happening nowadays with these hospitality brands because of Airbnb. Airbnb is a big disruptor, and so what happened to Spotify? Spotify disrupted music industry, and internet. Whoever disregarded internet went out of business.
Exactly. So how can we be more strategic about crafting and positioning our personal brand?
As I mentioned, you need to first you need to be patient, because so many people give up because it is very hard to cope with toxicity of Twitter. It's very hard to cope with toxicity of social media. But you need to be convinced that when you start hit the ground running, you should never give up. Never. You need to keep moving forward, no matter what. Keep moving forward. Be convinced in your abilities that you will persist building a strong personal brand. You will put out content. And there are so many, enthusiastic, renowned, open-minded entrepreneurs who are willing to connect with you. So unity is always a strength, right? So through collaboration, great things can happen, And I'm very grateful that I have met many amazing people on Twitter. People who built my career, through their recommendations, through their LinkedIn endorsements, through their likes, through their retweets. Even when London Business School follows me, and I have a huge fan base on Twitter. London Business School follows me, Forbes follows me. Big brands follow me on Twitter because they noticed my passion, they noticed my commitment, they noticed my willingness to give back and to inspire people to take action.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I'm hearing, and I agree with, is your willingness to do the hard work. I think some people think, I'll just do the minimum that I need to do, and I'm going to be like Vladimir. And it's like, no, you can hear in his passion, in his voice, that he is working hard to be what he is and to get his message across.
So, absolutely, Rick. They say that success depends on backbone, not wishbone, right? So, my success has always depended on my backbone or indefatigable hard work. I was working 18 hours a day, and I was sleeping like 4 or 5 hours a day in order to build my personal brand. I have sacrificed my life. When they are drinking pints at nightclubs, I'm working. When they are at the nightclubs and when they are drinking cocktails at bars, I'm working at the same time. And it's just my commitment that I'm now certified. I worked like there is no tomorrow for maybe 15 years, not like 15 years. And I worked every day in my 20s. That set me up for success in my early 30s. I now work with 25 speakers bureaus. I'm a startup mentor at more than 15 startup accelerators throughout the world. I'm an awards judge. Gartner Marketing Communication Awards appointed me as a judge in London.
Wow.
I was a member of marketing judging committee of the American Business Awards, TV Awards last year. Prolific North Marketing Awards in Manchester. I was the only international marketing judge who was invited to prolific North Marketing Awards in the UK, you know.
Congratulations.
So
Gosh.
I have spoken alongside Philip Kotler at the Global Marketing Summit, you know, recently. I'm so happy that you know, Vicky, I would love to show you
Sure.
Inside
have a
Success
book?
Magazine. Inside Success Magazine
Yes.
published my interview last year, you know.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yes, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy that Inside Success Magazine has recognized me among top 10 inspiring business leaders making a difference, you know. And another magazine that interviewed me is from Delaware, United States, Accelerator magazine, you know. Recognized me as a transformative leader of the year.
Wow, that's so great.
Just remarkable, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, and it's just remarkable that it is demonstration of my hard work and passion, you know. And
that is.
of course, you know, if you are passionate, the world will notice your passion and they will reward your hard work, you know.
Absolutely. So what are some new ways that you can recommend to stand out in the global network and the marketplace? And I want you to also put a spin on it about the new artificial intelligence and how that can help as you market.
Vicky, great questions. We first of all, we need to create contextual content, emotional content, you know. For example, you have emotional connection with Nike, right? Emotional connection.
Absolutely.
And when you wear Nike, you know that you will go faster, you will achieve more, nothing is impossible when you wear Nike, right? Nothing is impossible. It's same for us. When we create content, we need to have emotional connection with our followers, you know. I mean, it has to provide value. Without providing value, nothing great happens, you know. Nothing great happens, you know. So when it comes to AI, I nowadays I serve on the advisory board of the United States AI Institute. Good. And we collaborate with MIT and bigger corporations, you know. And of course, you know, AI has impacted marketing dramatically, you know, and AI is starting replacing so many people's jobs. AI also is used extensively in personalization, in customer experience. AI is behind customer, for example, on Facebook, on chatbots, you know. So AI has become an alpha and omega of marketing, you know, because if you don't use AI intensively in your marketing strategies, then you go out of business, you know. And I believe that 85% of organizations that fail to scale AI will not be in business in the long term, you know.
I really agree as well. And I don't think it's just like, you know, when the fax came in on Netflix and all the, you know, it will eliminate some jobs, but it's going to create so many more jobs. And it's, for me, a lot of the things that hold back marketers or business owners, business teams, is that getting stuck with the white page.
Yes.
You know, their innovation and creativity is often sort of thwarted. And I think AI just gives you that springboard of innovation, right?
Exactly. Vicky, you know, this also has eliminated so many jobs. This. And you know, this is a reason why multi-billion-dollar startups have been built in the recent decade. You know, multi-billion-dollar companies, Airbnb, Uber, have been built because of this device. Because and whoever disregarded mobile went out of business. You know. And now and market decides what is good and bad. The market decided that Airbnb is good. The market decided that Uber is good. The market decided that Spotify is good, you know. And of course, we no longer choose these luxury hotels. We use Airbnb because speed and flexibility, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And it really, whenever I was, you know, first in business in the 70s and 80s, reviews were there, you know, but not, but now, businesses live and die by the reviews that come on that little device you just held.
Yes, so reviews, of course. And someone bought like 100 horses before the day car was invented, right?
Yes.
One. And someone who bought 100 horses lost, right? And went out of business.
Yeah.
Because they focus on horses when the car was invented, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when people were transitioning from radio to TV,
mm-hmm.
People were still advertising on radio, and they went out of business, because they disregarded TV, and transitioning is very hard. Transitioning is very hard nowadays. What I see nowadays is that brands have a tendency to run around in circles to advertise on offline marketing channels. Then they disregard the internet, they disregard
mm-hmm.
social media.
Yeah.
Social media is the only way to survive and to be in the growth mode in the long term, because
mm-hmm.
social media guarantees that your business will be alive in the next 5 years,
Yeah.
So as an award judge, I can tell you as an award judge, because I'm trusted to judge the biggest marketing projects in the world. I can tell you from my experience that whoever creates content, whoever cares about their consumers online, whoever communicates, because communication dictates everything we do, and nothing great happens without communication, right?
Yeah,
nothing.
for sure.
If Nike does not communicate, then nothing great happens. But Nike communicates, Nike storytells, Nike collaborates with athletes. Nike has a emotional connection with its consumers,
mm-hmm.
And Nike is the best example for every brand to put consumers at the heart of everything they do,
Yeah, they create that emotional attachment.
Yes. Yeah. And emotion is everything these days.
It is.
Emotion. With emotion, people decided that I'm at the forefront of marketing because I created and published emotional content, and people put my content on the pedestal because they love my passion,
Yes. So we're flying by, and it is already time for us to move to the rapid fire. So
Yes.
First, I wanted to ask, you gave us a little bit of your background, but knowing what you know, what advice would you have given that 20-year-old Vladimir, knowing what you know?
Open-mindedness is amazing, Without open-mindedness, nothing great happens, I suggest everyone to be open-minded.
Yeah.
You will climb every mountain in technology if you are open-minded, If you are in growth mode, in learning mode and growth mode, if you leave your comfort zone, then sky is the limit,
Yeah. So given that, what have you learned from your failures?
Well, Kati, of course, taking the first step is always the hardest, taking the first step, and of course, there were lots of trials and tribulations in my early career, because I was pushing myself to the limit. I was spending so many hours at the libraries. I was digging books, I have reinvested all my money in my books, self-education, and I learned from everyone, I'm inspired by everyone who is successful. Because it's just my mindset that I can tell you from my experience that someone who was born in Georgia, someone who was dreaming about experiencing the Western world, someone who was very diligent in high school, someone who was supported by his parents, and someone who has given his best shot to his career goals and dreams. I can tell you from my first-hand experience that if you are open-minded, you will become number one. You will, the whole world will come to your door to pick your brain, and you will be sought after in your industry because open-mindedness, and of course, as a leading marketing thought leader, I'm very delighted to give back, to inspire the world to take action, to motivate audiences to think big, because I want my audiences to put out content. It's when they go back home after my keynote speeches, and if they email me like a few years later that they watched me and they were motivated to hit the ground running to build their social media communities, that is my biggest achievement,
Absolutely. So what's next in your journey, Vladimir?
Kati, of course, I would love to speak at more events. I would love to publish more best-selling books. I want to invest in more startups, and I'm just open-minded, and when I'm open-minded, I know that next week I will achieve more. Even a month later, I will have new success. Even a year later, I will have spoken more conferences, and just my mindset, because for me nothing is impossible. And when I think big, and when I'm a long-term thinker, just my efforts work wonders.
The final thing is, what does Vladimir do to relax?
Well, sometimes I meet my friends to recharge my batteries. Of course, they say that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, right? So,
so much energy.
I always try to work to find some work-life balance. It's very important for me to meet my friends, to exchange experiences. I love sports. I love playing tennis. I love basketball, watching football, and of course, but my work takes a lot of hard work. My work, you have to work like so many hours. You need to, for example, since pandemic, I started joining speakers bureaus, and if you want to have a competitive speaking portfolio, then you work like hell, no excuse. You need to have a bio. You need to have like 10 keynote topics. You need to have like 15, 20 testimonials. Many awards, like interviews, speaking engagements, track record, or as a speaker, a track record. That I have spoken at so many events. So step by step, I have grown myself into a powerhouse as a speaker. Now
sure.
So it's just remarkable that if you check out Las Vegas Speakers Bureau's roster, I'm a speaker alongside multi-billionaires, in the United States, in Las Vegas. I also work with MSP Talent, All American Speakers, champion speakers, Kruger Cone, Speakers Academy International, Ovations International, so many speakers bureaus throughout the world, but through my passion, through dedication, through perseverance, persistence. They say that constant dropping wears away a stone. Constant dropping, I believe in motivation, discipline. I believe in that nothing great comes from every path has its paddle, right? And nothing success has not been given for me. I have earned success in my heart. So I was not born in the United States. I was not born in the UK, but in these both countries, they applauded and cherished my entrepreneurial spirit, because they love my spirit, they love my vision, they love that I see the world faster, easier, clearer, and taking action is what makes all the difference. So I take action. I have always taken action. I have always been in execution mode.
Yes.
I have built my Twitter. I have built my LinkedIn, on my Instagram. I have built my presence across 15, 20 social media channels. I have tracked my progress from month to month. Even like a Fortune 500 brand executives started recommending me. I have earned more than 1,000 skill endorsements on LinkedIn. Certified LinkedIn recommendations. So it has not been a walk in the park. It has not been. It's taken a lot of hard work, but I'm very grateful to the bottom of my heart. I'm very grateful, gratitude is the best attitude for me. And I always show gratitude to my tribe, to my followers, for retweets, for likes, for engagements, And so I have become number one in the world. I have been ranked number one since 2019 because I have been very consistent.
Yes.
Consistency has driven my success in the long term because I have 60 media interviews. I have been in the magazines, on podcasts. I have spoken at events. I have been invited as a judge to Gartner and big award ceremonies. But I won my first award in 2015 Wiki when Analytica in London ranked me number 65 global B2B influencers in the world because of my consistent performance as a Twitter influencer,
Yeah.
But then I was going from strength to strength. I have made a breakthrough. I have gained momentum, and everyone sees where I stand in 2023 because I love what I'm doing,
For sure. It's time now for me to share my screen so those that are listening or watching can get Vladimir's information. So I'm going to do that right now. If you haven't got a paper and pencil, you might want to go and run and grab that or get ready to screenshot. So those that are listening in, if you would just go to www.VladimerBotsvadze.com. Again, that's Vladimer Botsvadze.com. You can also find him on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter by searching his name, but I'm going to have Vladimer talk to you about what you'll find when you go to the website or his LinkedIn site to be able to connect with him. So Vladimer, will you just let them know what they'll find?
Thank you very much for this interview, one of the best interviews in my entire career, entire life, and I truly appreciate what you do. I have watched some episodes of your podcast, and you have invited amazing guests to your podcasts who shared amazing knowledge and very high impact strategies with your audiences. I truly appreciate what you do,
Thank you. So on your website, what can they find there?
They can connect. They can visit me at VladimerBotsvadze.com. Also, they can follow me on Twitter at VladoBotsvadze. Also, connect with me on LinkedIn and follow me on Instagram at Vladimir Botsvadze. So I'm always willing to follow back and to connect with people. So let's work on amazing projects in the future.
Well, thank you so much for being such a wonderful guest. And as always, I remind everyone that life is a journey and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Netling signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Netling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.